This is Intoxicated Literature.
Welcome to Intoxicated Literature. I am Daniella Drake.
And I'm Evelyn Crow.
And tonight we are talking about Payback's A Witch by Lana Harper.
This was a super cute
It
read.
was so cute. It was cozy. It had great fall vibes.
It did. It really did. It made me want to go to a pumpkin patch, like, real bad.
Right? I loved it. Especially because we don't really get fall in Southern California.
No, we pretty much get, like, hot and not hot.
It's summer and not summer. That's what I like to say. So before we get into it, there will be spoilers for this entire book. If you have not read this book, please go read it and come back. Don't want to ruin anything for you. Also, we do swear like sailors, so be aware. This is intoxicated literature. We are intoxicated, and we have no filter.
Intoxicated right now, too. We've had a couple of drinks.
We have
freaking
had
hard for this one.
Speaking of, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Witch's Brew.
Which is quite delicious, actually. Mine has grenadine in it, so it looks black. But yours looks very pretty.
Mine looks very blue, because I did not put any grenadine in this one. I put it in the last one, and it looked really kind of like puke green. But I didn't put any in this one, and it looks very pretty blue.
It's a tasty treat.
It is very good.
I love cocktails made with pineapple juice, because pineapple juice hides all manner of sins.
It really does. And who doesn't, I mean, if you don't like pineapple juice, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
But, it's very tasty.
So, let's get into it. I very much enjoyed this book. I've read 3 in the series, and then I got busy and I couldn't finish. But I enjoyed all of the books that I've read by Lana Harper.
This is really good. And I actually was saying we needed to read more sapphic books, so this was perfect.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Right up
good
our alley.
Yeah.
It's fall and it's sapphic. Yes, let's go. And it was a good, after our last one, which was so alpha male.
Yes, this was a nice, it has more feminine vibes. Let's just put it that way.
It really does.
Yeah.
So this was really good.
Yeah.
So we have Emmy, who is coming home after a long break away from her little homey town.
Thistle Grove, which think is an adorable, magical town in so many ways. Like, it really felt like the epitome of a fall town.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
which
absolutely.
is exactly what I wanted for this time of year. So it was perfect.
I mean, there are towns who, like, in Southern California that I go to, like, do apple picking because I'm a white woman. That's what I do. In the fall, you go apple picking. So Oak Grove is, like, where we go. Oak Grove. So you have Thistle Grove. It's, like, it makes complete fucking sense to me that this would be a place that you would live.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. I think that as a setting, Thistle Grove is so great. It gives us kind of, like, Stars Hollow vibe from Gilmore Girls, which was not my favorite show, but I understand.
I'm gonna have to take your word on that because I've never actually seen this, like, more than one episode of that.
Really? Oh man,
No.
I binged it one season. I can't even remember when it was, but I enjoyed it to a point.
I dislike that show immensely.
That could be a different conversation because I think I know why you disliked it, and I probably disliked it for the same reason.
Anyway,
yes.
So yes, but I believe you that
Yes.
that is what the name of the
But
town
it's
is
the
called.
small town vibes, and it's very, like, autumnal and magical and exactly what you would want for this time of year. So
Yes.
it was perfect timing for us to read it.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
And I really liked it because she's driving in this car with her dog, who she calls
Jasper.
like Mustachio Gentleman.
No, I love it so much.
And I just wanted to pet him. Like, the entire book, I just wanted to pet him.
I know. I wanted
so
some
badly.
snuggles very badly. Like, I was like, it's snuggle time. Like, where is Jesper?
All I wanted to do was pet the dog. And I was really mad that I couldn't pet the dog. I was very upset by this.
That's fair. That is a fair reaction.
So, Thistle Grove is a magical town. It's like, from what I can tell, the only magical town that we know of in the United States.
It does seem to be that way. It was interesting. Like, she kind of glosses over it. They talk about it a little bit more in the next books, but not as much as you would think. Like, why Thistle Grove is magical. It does come from the lake, which we find out in this book. But there's not really a reason why. It's just
like a magical spring that magic comes from, and woohoo, there's magic.
Pretty much, yeah. And
you know what? It's fantasy,
fine.
And fantasy is magic, and magic is because magic. So
exactly. I'm willing to go with it.
Fine. As an author, I say sure.
Exactly. Yes. You tell me it's magical, I say okay, and move on.
Hey, magic is magic, whatever.
Exactly.
This is why I like fantasy. Look,
yes.
I don't like sci-fi because there's too much explanation. If you tell me it's magic because magic, fine.
100%. Tell me a ship flies because magic, great, no problem. Tell me a ship flies and then give me all the technical stuff, I won't understand.
Boring, will not read.
Yep. Fast forward.
This is where, yep.
Yes. Yes. 100% agree.
Just imagine big, like, star emojis on either side and say, magic! With, like, jazz hands, and I'm like, okay, cool. Yes. I'm 100% behind that.
Yes. And this is like kind of, they have like the founding families. So you have the Harlows, the Blackmores, the Avramovs, and the Thorns. And they are like the 4 families that founded this magical town, and now they all reside there and kind of own it. They kind of run it, right?
Can we talk about how there was just a big, like, misunderstanding?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, there was just a big fucking misunderstanding between the whole fucking, like, families.
Everyone, really. Yeah. But can we talk about why? Because
the original Harlow founder was a big fucking asshole.
Patriarchal bullshit is what it was. Is what it was. He was like, oh, you didn't earn this, so you don't know that our family is actually really important.
Like, what the fuck is that about?
What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. I was pissed when I found that out. And, like, to be fair, Emmy was as well. And I was on her side 100%.
Absolutely. And even her mom was like, see, I told you it was patriarchal bullshit. That is just some messed up shit.
Yes! This, like, random British woman who brought in and became a witch because she was married is like, this is patriarchal bullshit, and I told you it was.
Look. This guy, this founder, has the most powerful magic in the fucking city. And it's just like, oh no, we can't tell our children about it until they earn it? Like, what the fuck?
I was pissed. And you knew that it was coming because just the way that the whole setup was, like, the whole thing about her feeling like, oh, I'm just like some forgotten footnote, or our family is just a joke, whatever. And they said it so many times that you knew there was going to be some kind of twist. But this is not the twist I was expecting, right? This is not what I thought we were going to get. And I was pissed on her behalf.
Look, I have a Kindle Scribe, and that is a fucking expensive Kindle. And I nearly threw it across the room. Yeah. I nearly, like, frisbeed that shit across the room.
Which is a fair response.
So fucking pissed.
Yeah. I was also so fucking pissed. I was like, this is the most ridiculous bullshit I have ever heard.
And the
fact that her dad went along with it also pissed me off.
Dude, she was so proud of her family and how her family was supporting her and her choices and whatever. And her dad pulls this shit?
Right. I was like, ooh, my dude, not cool.
Not cool at all.
Cool. Yeah.
Like, it's like a secret test? Like, what the fuck?
Right. I'm sorry. Do I need a secret test? I was born into this family. I'm the scion, and I needed some kind of secret bullshit test?
What the fuck?
Right. Yes.
Everyone else knows they're the scion. Everyone else knows what they're supposed to do. Everyone else knows, because everyone else has a power. Everyone else knows how important they are. Why do I have to doubt myself?
Exactly.
What
100%.
the fuck?
It pissed me off so much. Why do I have to prove that I'm good enough when fucking Gareth is over there being an asshole?
With his fucking vibrances. All I could picture was him, like, doing this.
You know what I loved, though, is that Emmy called him on it, and he was kind of like, yeah, I know. She was like, what the fuck, dude? Come on.
What are these, dude? What are these? What the fuck?
And he's like, well, it's part of the official regalia. And she's like, really?
Really? They're the official regalia?
Can we also talk about the fact that this book when I picked it up, I thought it was going to be kind of like John Tucker Must Die, or like any of those like kind of revenge movies that you think of. But I love that this was like revenge, yes, is how it started, but it was more about kind of evening the stakes for the town. Like, they're talking about all of these families struggling because the Blackmores are being greedy, and they're literally making it impossible for these other businesses to survive, to thrive.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, that is something that you need to fight. Like, that's bullshit. What the fuck?
As you're reading, you're like, wait, they have that too, and that, and that? Okay. No, we need to put a stop to this.
100%. I was so frustrated with them by the end of the book. I was like, I'm so glad that they got put in their place, because what the fuck are they doing? Like, how do you not care about your community?
That's the thing, is how do you not even have an awareness of what is going on around you?
Right.
Like, how do you not even, like, understand that, wait, maybe we shouldn't have a pumpkin patch because so-and-so has a pumpkin patch.
Right. Yeah! How about you just let them have that, and then you can do your own fucking Camelot whatever bullshit.
Right? Because you're already raking in the fucking dough with your big giant fucking castle.
Exactly.
Just let them have a fucking pumpkin patch.
Exactly. Like, stop being so fucking greedy. Yeah. I was tired
Jesus
of the Blackmores
Christ.
by the end, yeah.
The Blackmores were... Jesus Christ. The first challenge, when she came up and started yelling at Emmy, I was like, dude, white lady, go sit down.
And then Emmy was like, the fuck you say?
Even the mantle, like, she was like feeling the mantle's power and everything, and I was like, you go. You shut her down.
Yes! But I loved it too, because Emmy was having this kind of crisis of, like, person. Like, she doesn't know who she is. In the whole book, she's trying to decide, right? But in this moment, she gets kind of, like, called out by Igraine, and the mantle is like, what's this fucking bullshit? And she just takes it and runs, and she's like, yeah, this is bullshit. Let me put this lady in her place. And then later finds out that, yeah, the mantle was part of it, but it was really just her. Yeah. It was really just her going, you're fucking out of line, and I'm going to tell you so right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It was a great moment. I loved that for Emmy, and I loved that for the town.
For sure. Because this Blackmore comes up and is like, hey, my son should have won. This was all kind of bullshit or whatever. And she's just like, sit your ass down. This is not in the grimoire. This is not in the rules. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Sit your ass down.
Yeah.
And she's all like trying to come back with all these like really, really slim ass rules. And I just was like, all I could think of were all those TikToks of white ladies crying with like white lady tears or whatever. And it was so fucking satisfying to have her ass handed to her.
Yes. Yes, because it was all
amazing.
Bullshit. And like everything she brought up, you're just like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's so thin. Like, this would never hold up in a court of law.
No.
Like, what are you even talking about? And the mantle's like, no.
Like, nowhere in the grimoire were these against the rules.
Exactly.
You have to fight for it, so fight for it. You don't just get to take it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, this is not going to be easy for you. It's not supposed to be easy for you. This is a competition. Like,
exactly.
Just because two houses are teaming up doesn't mean anything. Like, that's not against the rules. You have to just go with it. Like, so fuck you.
Fuck you.
I did love that the whole setup of this is like a town-wide competition of the scions of these houses to see who leads the town. Like, I thought that was kind of an interesting way to do it. It's kind of like Goblet of Fire, but better.
It's like Hunger Games meets Goblet of Fire meets, like, it's like so interesting the way this was set up.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And that she actually becomes like this giant. She's like soaring above everybody.
Right? As the arbiter, she's like this giantess, and her voice is just like reverbing against all the mountains.
So even if she's cheering or bemoaning or whatever, everybody can hear her.
It. Yeah. Yeah. I thought
would
that was
die.
really cool.
I would
Yeah.
absolutely die. I would die of embarrassment. I would just be like, I'm sorry, I can't say anything because everyone can hear me. So I will just roll under the bushes now.
Yes, my entire goal in life is to be as invisible as possible. So
Seriously.
this is my worst nightmare.
Oh my god! I would never want to be perceived ever.
Ever. Don't even look at me. Don't
I write
acknowledge
books so people can read the books and never see me. That is the point.
Exactly. Exactly.
So to be like perceived in that manner would just kill me.
Yes.
I would just die.
Yes. Yes.
And so there she is as a giant. Huge. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
I know.
would
I
never-
that's a
would never
hard
work.
pass for me. I
No.
would not be able to do that. No way.
Mm.
More power to her, but Jesus, no way. Let's talk about the houses a little bit, because I did
Okay.
think this was also interesting, kind of having these houses, you know, these family lineages that kind of trace their lines back to, like, famous wizards or magicians or whatever you want to call them in history. I thought that was so fun.
It was fun, and I love the fact that the Harlows trace them back to, like, the stick in the mud.
Yeah.
Like a librarian. Who was, like, the most boring person ever.
Exactly. I thought that was so funny. Like, yes, our big claim to fame is this guy that took really good notes.
He was the secretary of Robert's Rules of Order.
It was so
The fact is, though, is I am my best. I love being the secretary. And, like, when I'm on a board, I love being the secretary.
This comes back to our not being seen thing, though, is you can take the notes and you don't have to be involved.
Ever. But you, like, control everything because when they come back and look at shit, you're in charge.
Yep. And you could be like, no, so-and-so said blah, blah, blah.
Guess who said that? I know.
Also, the Harlows have that amazing bookshop, which I wish was real, because I would go there in a heartbeat.
I would live there.
Right?
Oh, my God.
Like, she was talking about the feeling of being in there, and I was like, yes, please, that sounds great. Inject it right into my veins. Like, that is what I want.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I would live there.
I know. It sounds amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
I would live there. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Okay, then we have, like, so let's talk about the different houses. Then we have the Asimovs, who are, like, Russian, but, like, they've lived here for, like, 300 years.
Avramov.
Sorry. But they've lived here for, like, 300 years, but they're, like, the necromancy, like, land of the dead people. And they're, like, goths, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, they trace their lineage back to Baba Yaga, which I think
Yes.
is fucking scary.
Dude. I identify them with more than a little.
No, seriously, I've read enough Russian mythology to think that Baba Yaga is terrifying.
Oh, no, I don't want to fuck with Baba Yaga, ever.
Ever.
Ever. I have read novels with Baba Yaga and I don't want to fuck with her ever. Ever.
That's a hard pass.
No. I just say no to Baba Yaga.
Always just say no to Baba Yaga.
If you see a house with chicken legs walking towards you, run away.
Run away.
And never say,
Do not look back.
Just
Run.
Run. No. That is a horror. And
I
you
do
don't want
love the
anything to do with
Avramovs, though.
Yes.
I do love them. I think that they are a little bit more gray in their morality, but I also love that about them.
The thing is, though, is I think we both are kind of a little more gray in our morality.
Right. Right.
As much as we want to be not
Good.
gray in our
Yeah.
morality, we tend to be more gray in our morality just because we want to help people. And if we want to help people and it tends to be more gray in our morality, we'll be like, yeah, okay.
So this is the thing, is we will bend the rules
Yes.
before we break the rules.
Yes.
And we're okay with that if it means that we're going to help someone.
If we want to steal fucking baby formula from Target because a mom is in need, we will do that. For them.
100% without hesitation.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's just facts. But yeah, I also the witchy wood or the witch wood or whatever it is the Afro-Mogs have.
Dude.
Oh my god.
I would live there. I'm not even joking.
I think that is your vibe.
It's totally my vibe, and
That
I
is
would
your
live there.
vibe. Yeah, I was thinking of you when I read it for the second time. Actually, the first time too, I think. I thought, wow,
Okay.
Evelyne would love this.
Look. My favorite childhood movie was The Dark Crystal.
100%. Can
So-
confirm.
I would live there.
Yeah.
That dark, kind of creepy vibe was me.
Yeah, that was you. That was not me.
That was not Daniella. That was me.
No, I think you would feel so at home there.
Yeah.
And like happy and content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, ghosts and like, not so much. But the dark woods,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I felt more at home on the Thorn property where they
Yes.
have like flowers and apple orchards and like that kind of thing. I was like, oh, I'm sold.
So, as you see, Danielle and I are opposite. And that is where we are comfortable.
Indeed. I would visit you in the creepy wood because I love you.
Yes.
But I would be much more happy in my sunflower fields.
Yes. She is cottagecore and I am goth, and that
Yes.
is just where we are.
Yes, and that's okay. It works for us.
Yes. There you are. But see, the thing is, though, is that Emmy and Talia found love with each other, and it works for them.
Let us talk about Talia for a moment. Because even I was starting to question whether I was attracted to women or not. Because the way that she is described is hot as fuck.
Okay, let's talk about... Okay, here's the thing. I have come to understand in my 43 years is that sexuality is a scale. And it is not something either you're straight or you're gay. It is a scale.
100%, that is
And
accurate.
this Kinsey scale is something that is kind of fluid. It is not something that is set. Oh my god, Talia.
Hot as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my
okay,
God.
I don't know if you had this, but when I was reading it the second time, I literally pictured her as who's the lead in House of the Dragon? Emmy
Oh my god.
Darcy.
Yes.
Emma Darcy? I'm
Yes.
so sorry. I can't remember the exact name, but that is who I was picturing with dark hair.
Yes.
Because they have that similar kind of dominant vibe,
Yes.
right? And like
Mhm.
that was who I was picturing, and I was like, hot as fuck.
Hot as fuck. Hot as fuck. And
And you really desperately want them to figure it out because they work so well together. They're very good foils for each other, I thought.
And we have two characters who are both bi.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have both had both genders as lovers in their past. And they're both kind of feeling each other out. And personally, I've only had my husband. I am, sorry, limited in that area. But I've heard from bisexual people that women are scary and intimidating, and you just don't want to, like, it's scary. Men are easier. They're a little easier to kind of, like, feel out.
You know when men are interested. Women,
Yes.
it's harder.
It's harder. It's
Yeah.
harder to, which I can get behind.
No, I see that for sure.
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
Oh my god, the idea of having to, like, try to tell if a woman is interested in me scares me the fuck out.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it just terrifies me even thinking about it.
That's fair.
So they're feeling each other out. And a lot of the first part of the book is them just kind of like...
Well, they also have so much trauma. Like, both of them have so much trauma from previous relationships that they've got their guard up. They've got their walls up. And it's hard for both of them to be, like, putting themselves back out there. Like, Emmy is still recovering from freaking Gareth Blackmore. Like, freaking 9 years ago.
Blackmore.
Yes.
Can we talk about... I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about something else in a minute. But
Yeah.
Let's talk about Gareth Blackmore.
Yeah.
Who is an asshole, who's very rarely actually even a character in this book.
That's true.
He's not even, like, developed as a character. He is literally just a stand-in.
He's like the villain of this book, and yet you barely
never see him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, it kind of pissed me off. And this is my own personal, like, interpretation because of my own trauma. But, like, having someone who is so barely there, having such an emotional impact on these women was so upsetting to me because I have that in my own life.
That's the thing, is both of us have that. And both of us are like, well, fuck this shit.
And, like, for me, too, I was like, yeah, get this guy. Like, fuck him. Who does he think he is? And it, like, I had to kind of wrestle with that a little bit because I was like, is it worth it for just this one guy? But then you start to learn more about the Blackmore family. You're like, yes. Oh, no. This is something that needs to happen. It needs to be corrected. Like, totally understand. Great. But in the beginning, I was like, I need to check my own self because I am getting triggered.
Dude, our trauma, I'm sure, it was like, in this book, was like going, dude, let's fucking kill this guy.
Yes.
They will help us immensely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am all for that.
But, like, he's not even... Okay, listen. I don't think that he's really a bad person. I think that he is self-centered. I think that he's oblivious. He doesn't think of others because he's never been taught to think of others. He has no empathy. He has no compassion. But it's not because he's incapable. It's just because he's never had to.
And I'm actually really curious if there's a book about him.
Oh, that's a good question. Not the two that I read after this. I
really wonder if there's a book where he is the love interest.
I bet
or
he is.
His a point of view from him.
I bet he does get a point of view later. I bet he does.
Because he needs one if there isn't one.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
That would be interesting. I think that would be an interesting book.
Yeah, I want to see. I do think that he is one of the characters in later books. I haven't finished the series, which I do want to because I do like Lana Harper. I think she's a good writer. And I love Thistle Grove as a setting. So, but I do think that that's something that happens. I would be shocked if that's not something that happens down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's get back to the families. Let's see. So we talked about the Harlows a little bit. The Blackmores a little bit. Greedy fucks. Avramovs a little bit. Necromancy and Baba Yaga. And then the Thorns, who are like kind of like green magic, life magic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. So there is a competition. How many years apart is it? I
can't remember. Honestly, I was a little bit confused.
Said.
I don't know if they did either.
Okay, I will say this about this book. It was not super clear on the mythology. It was kind of like, this happens, and it happens so often, and then this is just necessary for the continuation of the city.
Yes, it was a little bit wishy-washy, I felt like.
And the thing is when you're reading it, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, you just
and then you read it, and you're just kind of like, eh?
Yeah, and then later you're like, wait, so how long has it been? Because it skipped Emmy's dad, but it was Emmy's grandma.
Yeah.
Before her. So, maybe every 50 years is what I interpreted.
I don't know.
But I don't know. Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, whatever.
Right.
I was happy to suspend disbelief. I did not object to it.
Yeah, but later you start to think about it and go, wait. How long was it?
Whatever.
Yeah.
It was founded by, like, 4 big witches because,
yes.
like, the lake has, like, a font, like, a huge thing of, like, magic.
Apparently it's just raw magic just coming right out of that lake. Because reasons. Like, there's no other city that has a lake that has magical properties except for this one town. I don't understand.
Look, I love writing fantasy because you could just say magic.
Exactly. You tell me that it's magic and I'll say, okay.
Okay. Look, I love it, man. You just say magic and people say, okay.
But you have to follow your own rules. That's the only rule, really.
That's the truth. You just have to follow your own magic. That's it. You
Yep.
just have to follow your own rules, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fine. That's how it is.
Pretty much.
Sure. So there's huge amounts of magic. Huge. Like, immense amounts of magic. And as soon as any of the witches who are in this town leave the town, they lose their magic.
Yeah, it slowly fades away until it's gone entirely.
Which is bullshit, I think.
I agree. That was one of the things that I was the most pissed off about, I think.
Like, shouldn't they be witches even if they weren't around magic?
Right. Like, it never really gets explained, and I feel like that was the thing that I disliked the most. Because it really just feels like a device to keep them in this place.
It's a writing device, and it seems a fairly obvious one to keep them in the universe.
Okay, just give me a reason why. Like, just tell me what the reason is, and I'll go with it. But because it was never really fully
maybe because
explained,
they're born there, they are, used to the magic. Something.
Yeah, exactly.
But as an author, I'm like, what? Why?
I know. I needed a little explanation.
There were witches before the font.
Exactly.
So obviously had to be able to be witches after it.
Right.
I was confused.
That's fair. I had the same question.
So that seemed a little bit of a plot hole, but whatever. Again, suspend disbelief.
You just go with it. You're like,
you
okay.
go with it.
Okay, fine.
Because at the time, there was some really hot sapphic sex happening, so...
Indeed. I mean, even in the creepy woods, I was like, damn, no wonder the ghosts
Dude, every time she said she pulled me into her lap, I literally melted into a puddle.
Short-circuited every time.
Every fucking time. Every fucking time! I don't know what it was about her, saying she pulled me into her fucking lap. My brain literally just, went, oh, what?
I know. Same.
Just could not compete after that.
Yeah, I didn't care what was going on after that. I was like, wait, where
and the sex scenes were not that detailed. They were not open door. They were closed door. But as soon as she said she pulled me into her fucking lap, I went.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
All I could imagine were legs spread around. That was it.
Yeah, that's all you needed, really.
And I'm sorry, but the whole thing about the tattoos.
Oh my god. That was one of the hottest scenes I have ever read. And it wasn't even sexual, really.
My god.
Literally, she was explaining what her tattoos were, and she would kiss it. Talia would kiss it after she explained as a thank you, an acknowledgement. Oh. But it was so hot. I was
god.
Why is this so hot? Why is it hot in here?
And I was literally reading it going, I don't think I'm into women. Am I into women?
That's what I'm saying. It made me confused.
And I was literally looking up the Kinsey scale. I'm not joking.
No, I know. I get it. I'm with you. I am with you. This book made me question a lot of things.
A lot of things were happening in my brain. And I was like, well, maybe.
Maybe I am a little
Maybe
gay.
I am. Let's just say I am for now.
Into women. I'm willing to believe that I am a little bit just based off this book.
Yeah, for sure.
I do also want to talk about the friendship between Emmy and Lyndon because I think that was such an amazing depiction of two women in just a lifelong friendship.
For sure. And it made me think of my childhood friendships and the longevity of them and how they last and all of that. It was amazing.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job of making that feel really realistic.
Yes.
But also just so heartwarming. That whole conversation that Lyndon had with Emmy after Emmy left, and she was like, I felt like you wouldn't care if we stopped talking, if we lost contact. And Emmy was like, holy shit, I done fucked up.
Look, you recommended this book, and I didn't think I was going to need tissues. And then
that was your first mistake.
suddenly needed tissues next to me because I was fucking crying. And I was like, no, I didn't think I was going to be crying with this book, but here I am, crying.
Yeah, the cozies lie.
Why are cozies like this? Why are cozies like, we're going to reach into your soul, and we're going to touch all of the things that make you cry.
Because when you come out the other side, you feel so good.
No, lies.
Okay, well, I feel really good when I come out the other side.
No, I'm like texting my childhood best friend, like, I love you so much. I love you so much. I'm going to send you a box of my books. I love you so much. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was cathartic, though, the way that it happened. And even Emmy on the other side is like, I felt so much better. Like, the air was so much clearer between us. Like, we were in a much better place.
It was a discussion that needed to happen.
Absolutely 100%. And it was so nice to see it in a healthy way. Like, neither one of them was attacking them personally or like in a over the top way. It was just like, this is how it made me feel when you left, and I don't know that was your intention, but this was the consequence.
A discussion that didn't involve women hating women or being jealous or going after somebody in a patriarchal society.
There was no competition. They weren't competing with each other. They weren't pissing each other off for no fucking reason. It was just them saying, this is how I felt, and then the other one saying, oh my God, that was not my intention. I am so sorry and I love you.
Yes, that's it.
It was a healthy relationship.
That's it.
Between two platonic friends. And it was so nice to see it, because I feel like so often you don't see that, which I don't understand, because so many women have these relationships.
And it's so upsetting because in media, all you see, like even Bridgerton, you see women vying for, like, there's a competition, and it's like, that's not what it is.
It is my least favorite thing to watch, because in real life, I don't experience that at all. Like, it's only women trying to help other women.
Yes.
And so to see it depicted in media as we're always fighting with each other and vying with each other, and it doesn't feel real. It feels fake.
And even at the end, when Harlow is given the wreath.
Yes.
It's like, look, you won this. You won it. You deserve this. Here it is.
I loved that moment so much, because even Talia was like, listen, the Avramovs should not have this. Let's be real. I would not be a good leader. You're going to be an amazing leader, and you've earned this. Like, you deserve to have this. And it was such a touching moment. Like, it was so nice to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's women helping women. And it needs to be in more books. And it needs to be in more media. And it needs to be everywhere.
Absolutely 100% agree.
Because I swear... Look. Hollywood has a problem.
Hollywood has many problems.
Hollywood has a problem with men writing women. And it is that women are in competition with each other. And we're not.
Exactly.
We're really not. Women help women.
Yeah.
We really do.
No, that's exactly what... It's hardwired into us, because the struggle is already so hard.
It really is. And this book is all women helping women.
Yes!
It is women helping women. Okay, this man hurt us. Okay, it's not cool that you got with my ex-boyfriend, but at the same time, he's an asshole, so I'm still gonna help you.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I love that there wasn't even a moment where Emmy was like, what the fuck were you doing with my ex-boyfriend? Like, she was like, wow, I didn't expect that, but okay.
But she was like, I moved away, and I wasn't even here, and you didn't think I was going to come back. I understand why.
Also, it's been almost 9 years. Like,
9 years? It's like a decade.
Yeah, exactly. And she's just like, how dare he hurt you the way that he hurt me? Like, that is the
100%.
end thought. Like, she goes from, wow, I didn't expect that, to, how dare he? How dare he treat you that way?
He hurt my best friend. Okay, we're gonna fucking fuck him up.
Exactly.
Women helping women.
Yes. And that's what I'm here for.
Yes. So Hollywood has a problem. Men always think that women are in competition. We are not.
That's the patriarchy.
Women help women.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I do, is write that women help women.
Yes, that's what we love to read. We need more books where women are lifting other women up. Because that's realistic.
It's realistic.
Like, I don't know why it's so difficult for men to believe, but women are supporting women all the time, constantly. Like, that is what we do. So it was really nice to see that in this book. Like, that was an aspect of the book that I really enjoyed.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And I really want to go to this Irish bar that they have here.
Oh, yeah, that does sound really nice. Morty?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's a norm, right?
Who's really cool, though.
But he seems so practical and pretty observant.
I think he knows more than he lets on, and I bet he appears in other books.
I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee
a theory.
It. Yeah, I can almost guarantee it. I did love all of the like witchy themed shops and restaurants and coffee shops and like all the stuff in this little town. I thought that was so cute. I was like, I would visit this town in a heartbeat. I would live in
this town. What are you talking about?
Right?
I would. Oh my god! I would like die if I were like adopted by the Asimovs. Are you seeing my outfit right now?
It sounded so perfect. I was like, this sounds like the place that we need to relocate to. I would, like, are you what? You mean, like, I could just party in the dark woods in the middle of the night? Okay, sure. Exactly. But you could go to, like, the bar and get, like, whatever witchy-themed cocktail, and I was like, that sounds great. Or the medieval castle that's just there? Right. Sure. Camelot, literally called Camelot, like... And all of the family names their kids after Arthurian legends? Hello? Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I was just like, this is a nerd's paradise, and that sounds perfect for me. I mean, excuse me, I only studied, like, Arthurian legends, like, in college. I'm, like, nerding the fuck out. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I mean, the Blackmores are supposed to be descended from Morgan Le Fay, so... I was freaking the fuck out, Daniela. No, I get it. I was really pissed that they were the bad guys. I'm not lying. I did think about that when I recommended it, because I knew it was going to upset you. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, yeah, well, you know. It kind of makes sense, colonialism, right? That makes sense. Whatever. But whatever the fuck. Also, but, they're descended from Morgan Le Fay, who is an asshole. Yeah. Who's an asshole. Exactly. I get it. I understand. I do. Intellectually. At the same time, I'm like, oh my god, her name is Nimue. I know. I know, it's so true. Oh, man. I did really enjoy this book. I thought it was just, like, a really fun fall read. It really was. It was fun. It was really cozy. It was a cozy, fun read. Yeah, it really was. And the romance was nice. It wasn't, like, necessarily the main part, but it was a really nice part of it. I actually kind of want to talk about the fact that it was... Is it sold as a romance, or is it sold as an urban fantasy? I've seen it mostly as an urban fantasy. Okay. But I don't know, actually. Because I found it on TikTok. So, okay. Oh no, I found it on the Reddit Cozy Fantasy subreddit. So, and they were not selling it as a fantasy. They were selling it as a cozy. A cozy fantasy? Mm-hmm. Or cozy... Okay. Cozy fantasy, yeah. So not a romance. No, not a romance. No. Because it feels like a romance. It does feel like a romance. And they do get the HEA, which you would expect in a romance. I have the hiccups because I am fucking drunk. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize for that. That's amazing. Sorry. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't think it's... I haven't seen it really marketed as a romance per se. More as a fall, witchy, cozy read is what I have seen it marketed as. Because it feels like an urban fantasy. Yeah. Especially because it's closed door. Yeah. But there is an HEA. Because there is
definitely a romance aspect to it.
Yeah. But the romance is not the main plot, I would say.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a big part of the book, but I wouldn't say it's the main plot. And I will say, I did like Emmy's character growth.
Yes.
Because I was a little frustrated with her up until, like, halfway, like, three-quarters through the book.
Oh my god, I wanted to throttle
Yeah,
her.
And part of it is because, you know, we're older and we have a little bit more life experience. And so she's talking about these reasons that she had to leave the town. And I'm like, you're not leaving because you want to be better or change yourself. You're running away. Like you're not wanting to deal with your problems, so you're fleeing. That's not healthy. It's just like a coping mechanism, basically. And so when Talia actually calls her on it, and in that moment, obviously Talia is also very emotional, and so it's easy to kind of be like, oh, people say things when they're mad, whatever. But in this case, she is 100% correct when she says, you are just the queen of running away, and that's how you handle everything. And Emmy doesn't want to hear it, right? But it's what she needs to hear, because nobody has ever actually said, you haven't dealt with this stuff, you just left, and that's really a problem. And maybe that's something you should think about. And so she's actually forced to confront it, which she hasn't really had to do in 9 years. So do we think that this is a romance or just an urban fantasy?
I don't know. It felt like both.
I agree.
It really felt like both.
It really did. I feel like she was trying to get best of both worlds, which is really hard for me to say, apparently.
Well, you know, alcohol helps.
Yeah.
I think it was best of both worlds. It was a closed door romance, which it's not something I usually read. So
right.
That was a new thing for me. But so it felt more like an urban fantasy for me because I'm not used to reading a closed door romance, but because of all of the lore and the world building and all of that aspect of it, it felt more like a urban fantasy to me, but it had the HEA of a romance.
Yeah, I feel like it was more like an urban fantasy with romance for me. Like, I feel like the romance was not necessarily the main part, but it was a big part.
Okay. It's like a romantic urban fantasy.
Yeah, let's go with that. Thank you for joining us, and I am Daniella Drake.
And I'm Evelyn Crow.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Intoxicated Literature. Drink well, friends.